In 2015, a massive traffic jam on the Beijing highway brought a 50-lane stretch to a complete standstill. Similarly, in 1980, a severe traffic jam on the French autoroute highway left cars stuck for 175 kilometers from Paris to Lyon, taking several days to clear. Traffic jams have also plagued other parts of the world, including Brazil, Germany, and the United States, with reports of vehicles being stranded for up to 12 days. However, today I will discuss a traffic jam that is truly astounding. This traffic jam did not last for a few days, weeks, or even months, but incredibly, for a full 8 years. The longest and most challenging traffic jam in history occurred in the Suez Canal, where ships and thousands of crew members were trapped for 8 long years. Clearing traffic jams on highways and expressways may take several days, but clearing the jam in the Suez Canal was a monumental challenge beyond anyone's capability. Let's delve into the fascinating story of this unique and longest-lasting traffic jam in history. The Suez Canal, often hailed as the jewel of the shipping and trading industry, revolutionized maritime travel when it opened in 1869. Before its existence, ships had to embark on a lengthy voyage around the African continent to travel between Europe and Asia. The Suez Canal transformed this months-long journey into a matter of days, enabling ships to travel directly from Europe to Asia via the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea, saving a distance of 10,000 kilometers. The Suez Canal not only shortened ships' journeys but also provided a safer route, protecting them from notorious pirate gangs operating in African waters, such as Somali and West African pirates, known for looting ships and holding crew members hostage. On the fateful morning of June 5, 1967, the tranquil waters of the Suez Canal bore witness to an unforeseen turn of events. 15 ships, navigating their usual course from the Mediterranean side, embarked on what was anticipated to be a routine voyage. Little did they know, their ordinary journey would soon be engulfed by the flames of conflict, transforming mere hours into an unforeseeable odyssey spanning years. Despite tensions simmering between Egypt and Israel, the ships and their crews had no inkling of the impending conflict. The canal, situated far from the border between the two nations, seemed insulated from the brewing hostilities. However, on that fateful day, the tranquility of the canal was shattered as Israeli forces launched a surprise attack on Egypt. Within moments, the peaceful waters became a theater of war, with rockets and planes descending upon the canal. The situation became so dire that Egyptian forces immediately closed the Suez Canal from both sides. In the wake of the initial onslaught, the conflict between Egypt and Israel escalated into a fierce 6-day battle, culminating in a decisive victory for Israeli forces who, through strategic prowess and sheer determination, managed to seize control of the entire Sinai Peninsula. This territorial conquest fundamentally altered the geopolitical landscape, heralding the establishment of a new border delineated by the iconic Suez Canal, now serving as a formidable barrier between the two warring nations. For Egypt, the outcome of this confrontation marked a devastating blow, leaving the nation reeling from the loss of territory and strategic significance. Determined to prevent any further encroachment by Israeli forces, Egypt swiftly implemented defensive measures along the length of the Suez Canal. Ships were strategically stationed on both banks, acting as sentinels to thwart any attempted crossings, while bridges connecting the opposing shores were systematically demolished, severing vital logistical routes. Adding to this formidable deterrent, extensive minefields were laid throughout the canal, rendering its passage treacherous and impassable. Meanwhile, amidst the chaos, 15 cargo ships found themselves trapped in the Great Bitter Lake, sandwiched between Egyptian and Israeli forces. With escape routes to the Mediterranean and Red Sea blocked, the ships were left with no choice but to remain stationary, stranded in a tense standoff, awaiting resolution. In addition to these, several other ships were also halted in the Mediterranean and Red Sea. They remained in limbo, hopeful for a resolution to the escalating situation. But as time passed, the gravity of the conflict intensified. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, yet the hostilities between Egypt and Israel showed no signs of abating. The repercussions of this prolonged conflict reverberated globally. Shipments faced delays, and freight charges skyrocketed. Vessels that once relied on the Suez Canal for transit between Europe and the Middle East or Asia were forced to embark on lengthy detours around the African continent. This war posed unprecedented challenges to the international community, exacerbating the predicament of the 15 ships ensnared in the traffic deadlock, along with their crews. Among them were vessels of various nationalities, including British, German, Swedish, Polish, French, Bulgarian, and American. After several months, it became evident that a swift resolution to the issue was unlikely, prompting shipping companies to recall the majority of the crew from the stranded vessels. Only 10 individuals remained on each ship for essential maintenance tasks. Every 2 to 3 months, this group of 10 was rotated out, replaced by a fresh contingent, all clinging to the hope that their vessels would one day be freed from their predicament. As time passed, the crews of the 15 ships became close friends, finding comfort in their shared challenges. To break the monotony and lift their spirits, they came up with different activities. On the German ship, they set up a simple church where Christian crew members gathered every Sunday. The Bulgarian vessel organized movie nights every day, while the Swedish ship hosted fun pool parties. The British crew enjoyed playing football together. Despite facing difficult times, they found strength in each other and jokingly called themselves the Yellow Fleet. Despite the passage of years, the ships remained anchored in the same location, gradually accumulating a layer of silt. Remarkably, as neutral entities with no involvement in the conflict, neither Israel nor Egypt objected to providing them with essential supplies of food and water, ensuring the well-being of those stranded aboard. In 1973, 6 years after the initial conflict, the war reignited, this time instigated by Egypt. Egypt launched a comprehensive assault into the Sinai Peninsula, driving Israeli forces back significantly. Both sides engaged in fierce combat, resulting in heavy casualties. Unfortunately, amidst the chaos, an Israeli rocket inadvertently struck the stranded American ship, causing it to sink. The week-long battle exacted a heavy toll, with thousands of lives lost on both sides. Finally, on October 24, 1973, a ceasefire agreement was brokered, and both nations commenced withdrawing their troops. However, for the ships ensnared in the traffic jam, the struggle persisted. Over the course of the 6-year conflict, the Suez Canal became littered with wreckage from tanks, ships, and rockets. Furthermore, Egypt had laid mines in the canal, rendering passage impossible for the trapped vessels. It would take another 2 years for Egypt to carefully clear the canal of debris and mines, allowing maritime traffic to resume its course. On June 5, 1975, a momentous occasion unfolded as the Suez Canal reopened after 8 years of closure. For the 14 ships that had endured the prolonged ordeal together, the time had come to bid farewell to the canal. Their departure was met with jubilation as they were warmly welcomed back to their respective home countries. The resumption of traffic in the Suez Canal marked the end of an unprecedented traffic jam, a historic event unrivaled in magnitude and duration. Simultaneously, relations between Egypt and Israel underwent a significant transformation. Israel relinquished control of the entire Sinai Peninsula, returning it to Egyptian sovereignty. In a landmark move, Egypt became the first Arab nation to formally recognize Israel, signaling a newfound era of diplomatic thaw and cooperation in the region.